Welcome to Political Science 320, or Criminal Justice 320. It's a cross-listed class for criminal justice majors and public administration political science majors, and it also fulfills a GE class. We are going to talk about the bureaucracy, and the bureaucracy is the part of the government that actually does the work, not the elected officials. I'm really excited to be with you. I'm Dr. Tucker, and in the videos I've posted you'll see a variety of different bow ties. I like bow ties because I'm kind of a geek, but anyway, I was going to share with you how to get into the course and how to navigate through the course and talk a little bit about what the course entails. So you'll log into to Canvas. What you'll do is just go to your normal student portal, and then along the left hand side where you'd find Titanium in the past, there'll be a link for Canvas. Canvas will give you start you at a dashboard over here, and then you'll go to your courses and you'll see these different modules. So starting at the very top, you'll see a link to this video right here. And then if you have questions during the course, you can always feel free to email me. But if you email me, I'll probably post the question in some generic form here on the discussion forum. Throughout the class, I'm sure you'll have questions. Post it there. I'll check it routinely. Sometimes a student will answer it, and sometimes I can answer it. You can also send me an email if it's something personal. Here's the syllabus. We can talk about that in just a second. And the very first assignment that's due is a syllabus quiz. The course is set up in an asynchronous online format so that you can work through the course at your own speed and how you would like to do that. So each module roughly corresponds to a chapter in the textbook, and so in module 1 we'll be talking about what government does. This is a link to the PowerPoint slides that I'll show you in these videos. So if I were you as a student, what I would do would go first to the book, skim through the book really quickly, then I would open up the PowerPoint and see what points are there, what maybe has been missed. Then I'd go watch these two videos. In the videos I give you a short synopsis of the chapter and how to navigate through some of the most important core concepts. After you've watched those videos, you might have some questions. You can post them in the discussion forum. And then you can do these class activities. There's a class activity for each chapter. When you click on it, it'll show you what the activity is. It'll tell you how many points it's worth, give you a little overview of it. There are probably links in there or stories you'll need to read, and then there'll be a response. Now nearly all of these are some sort of discussion. So you would write a discussion post there. You can respond to some other students' discussion post, or you can just write your own there. Those are all graded. After you've done that, you might have some more questions. Then I would post those to the discussion forum. You could send me an email, and then you have a chapter quiz. You have a chapter quiz for each of the chapters in the textbook, and they'll cover basically the textbook and the video lecture component of the class. The class activities are designed to help you integrate what you've read in the textbook to a modern life, real life case, to help you think about some of the intricacies about how government functions and what's important, and maybe to help stimulate some thoughts about how you're going to use this course throughout your life. Now, a lot of students in my class will say, gosh, Dr. Tucker was really interesting, and unfortunately I can't be with you in person to do handstands or heel kicks or show off how awesome my bow ties are. But really what happens is they'll say the course was kind of boring because I don't really care about this stuff. And so that's what I get on my student evaluations. But then what happens is about 5 years later, I'll get a random email from a student that'll say, Dr. Tucker, I really appreciated what you taught me in my class. I use it every day now that I work for the police department, now that I work in the water department, or now I work for the FBI. Now I'm seeing some of the things that I maybe didn't see before. So I'm trying to build this in so that you have a class activity that helps you understand how to apply the material that you're learning. So a lot of students are really concerned about how they're going to progress through the course, but also how they're going to earn their grades. And so I wanted to cover that really quickly. All of this is in the syllabus. So let's go there first. It takes a second to load. You can download the syllabus, or you can just see it in the viewer. I'll just post it in the viewer so you can look at it there. Up at the very top, you get the information about the course section that you're in and the class ID. I typically exist in Gordon Hall, but since we're all online, the best way to get a hold of me is via email. I will have these office hours from 6:30 to 7 open every Monday night. You can use this Zoom link to contact me there. I'll be there. I imagine that you'll have questions. Send me an email or post it to the discussion forum. We're going to talk about the bureaucracy, and you can look through all these things from the course catalog. One of the biggest things that's important is that you have taken American government. There's some things that are really, really important for you to know and understand, like presidents don't make laws, or that federalism exists because you're a citizen of the federal government and a citizen of the state you're in, and that there's a separation of powers between states and local governments and federal government, and that those little things are not all that little when you start thinking about how government actually functions. So you need to take Political Science 100. If you haven't taken that, please drop. You'll be using the Politics of the Administrative Process, which is the Kettle book. This tells you how to walk through the class. You should be able to do it asynchronously, so at your own pace. I will try and post answers and grade the discussion forums, the class activities quickly, so you can get some immediate feedback so you can improve those. But I'll only grade those after the due date. So if you are really, really excited to get through the class and be done in a month, totally, that's great. Don't worry about that. You go for it. But I won't have graded any of your assignments until that first due date. Everything's on Canvas. Make sure that you check your emails from school. Those are really important. I'll send out emails from there. Oh, I missed one big part right here. I do not accept any late work. We're in the middle of an emergency. I understand that. If you need an extension, you need to tell me. And you need to use one of the institutionally approved excuses and provide evidence to the school. Otherwise, I assume that you're an adult and you can manage your own schedule. So I do not accept late work. I do not allow extensions or deadlines without an institutionally approved excuse. So there you go. Pay attention to your deadlines. Canvas is pretty great because it shows you what's due and when. My biggest philosophy that you need to understand is that I don't believe that teachers give grades. I believe that students earn grades, and because students earn grades, I'm going to try and help you earn those scores, but I'm also, well, I already did. I have set up every one of those quizzes and course activities so that you know what's expected of you. And I want you to be successful. And because I want you to be successful, I want to be helpful. And I've set up the course to help you be helpful, and to help me to be helpful, to help you, so that you can have help if you need help, but you need to tell me if you need help. And then you will earn your grade, and because you earn your grade, you can feel good about it. The course has a syllabus quiz, 14 chapter quizzes, and then a class activity for every one of the learning modules. By the way, did I tell you I don't accept any late assignments? The course has about it has 1,000 possible points. 60% of those come from quizzes and 40% come from course activities. No big exams, no final exam. Every module has a quiz. It's about 10 minutes long. You can look through here. For those quizzes, you're allowed to use your own notes. You're allowed to use the PowerPoints. You're allowed to use my videos. You're not allowed to use like Quizlet, Siri, whatever search engine you use on the internet to find those answers. You need to do those quizzes yourself. You can't hire somebody from another state to take it for you. If you encounter technical problems, take a screenshot of the entire page, the whole page, the timestamp, whatever browser windows you have open. Take a picture of that and send me an email immediately. I will go back into the system, see how far along you were in the quiz, look at the timing and all that stuff, and your email and the timestamp on that, and whatever evidence you have to show me that you actually had a problem. If I determine that you've had an actual problem, I'll allow you to do a retake. But if you are on an unstable internet connection, don't start the quiz. Take a quiz where you have a stable internet connection. Go to a Starbucks or wherever you got to go. You should have access, because the campus has been pretty good about that, to giving you computers and some sort of stability. So please find a stable internet connection when you do it. I understand things happen, but justify why I should give you that extension if you need it. You will absolutely perform better on the quizzes if you do the coursework as I just described. Read the text, look at the PowerPoints, watch my videos, ask questions, do the class activity, and then take the quiz. That's the best way that you're going to perform on those quizzes. The class activities are almost all discussion boards, so you'll be able to get to know kind of the other classmates. Because it's a discussion board, you'll post your answer to the discussion. You'll be able to write about whatever you want. I will grade you on grammar and spelling. I will grade you on your depth of thought. I will, really make you engage the material, and I'll assume that you will have read everything in there. And if for some reason you say something that was already in the article as some new novel idea, and you don't give credit to that article, I'm going to say, well, they didn't probably read that article, so I'm going to have to mark them down. So make sure that I know that in your writing that I know and I can see evidence that you've read that. I don't need you to tell me what you read, because I read it too. What I need is for you to critically engage that and think about what you read, and then write your discussion post. Now, you guys all know that there are people of a variety of different political persuasions in our class, and we're going to talk about things that are hard, like corruption and abuse, and we're going to abuse of power, and we're going to talk about money and where it goes, and who gets money and who doesn't get money, and how we make decisions. And because of that, there probably could be some really emotional charged discussions. You have to engage people in a nice and kind way, and if you don't, I will just kick you out of that discussion forum, and you won't be able to complete those class activities, which is 40% of your grade. So you really want to be able to engage your fellow students in a way that's meaningful, but not hurtful. So one way to do that is to be able to attack an idea, but not a person. So let's say someone makes a comment about how we're cutting funding for Social Security, and somebody else says, well, that's not very kind because it doesn't deal with it doesn't protect old people. Okay, well, that's fair. What you could not say then is, well, you're an idiot because you want to protect old people and they're economically inefficient. So you can't attack the person. You're an idiot. You can't say that. But what you could say is, it doesn't seem to me like a very efficient way to use our resources to continue to pay for people who are old, who don't produce a lot of economic benefit for our economy. See, now I've attacked the argument, but I haven't included that individual's comments or attacked that individual in my argument. So be cautious about how we engage each other, but I do want you to think critically, and honestly, you're going to find that some people really don't have the same opinion as you. That's great. Can you engage them in a meaningful way? Yeah, and if you do that, and you can do it in a nice, critical way based on the readings or based on some life experience, that's probably really good for your discussion posts. If you're just going through and saying, oh man, I thought that exact same thing, that's a horrible discussion post, because you know what? It doesn't show me you read anything. It doesn't show me that you critique their arguments or their flaws. You didn't look at whatever was going on in the article and think up something new. That would be a horrible discussion post. Well, sure, I liked that too. Move on. Let's get something good, right? Great. We don't meet in person, so you can work on these at your own leisure. I do plus or minus grading. Here's the plus or minus grading scale. Please note that if you're a criminal justice major, a C minus does not count as passing. So if you want to pass and you are a CJ major, you need to score 72.5% in the class to get a C. Okay, I generally don't give incompletes because most of the time people, if they're struggling to complete work, then we get to the break, they don't finish the work during the break, and then they start another semester, and then they've got that work plus the other work that they have to make up, and please, just if you are struggling, reach out to me. Let's help you before it becomes really difficult. And if it becomes really, really difficult and you can't finish the class, we'll just, try and figure out a way for you to withdraw. I report every single incident of academic dishonesty. So just be aware of that I do not allow anybody's crying or super sadness to justify why they copied and pasted from a wiki article, or why they didn't cite somebody's work. I mean, I'm really sorry in some ways that you felt like you had to do that. I'm here to help you, but you don't have to do that, and you've been trained not to do that. And if it's not my responsibility to train you that, because Department of Judicial Affairs, the Dean of Students Office, they assume that you know all the things that you can and can't do. So please, 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 please do not cheat. Do not invent systems to give yourself more time on quizzes. I've had it all. I've busted all those people, and please just don't do it. Now, I am an available instructor. Send me an email. I generally respond within 24 hours. Post something to the discussion forum. I'm going to try to respond there within 24 hours. If you need a Zoom call with me, meet me in my office hours or send me an email and tell me why you want to meet, and then we'll schedule a Zoom call. I want to be helpful. One of the other ways that we are helpful is to give you DSS accommodations. You are entitled to them if you have a DSS accommodation. Tell me early so I can add those into the quizzes for the extra time. This is a really difficult time if you have stress or anxiety. Here's some information from CAPS. We're in an emergency, so you can keep checking on Fullerton to see if we're ever going to go back to class. We'll figure that out. The course outline is set up this way. In Module 1, it tells you what to do and gives you the due dates. Those due dates are also on Canvas, and it goes all through the end of the semester. So I'm going to go really quickly to give you the overview one more time. Course intro, all these different things. If you look on the right hand side of Canvas, it'll tell you the next upcoming things. I want to warn you that some of these activities require at least 1 hour. Like the activity for Module 2 is a movie. So when you click on this class activity, it says it's worth 40 points. You're going to watch the movie here. You're going to think about whatever it is. You're going to give me a post about it. That movie is an hour long. So you can't finish that and then do the quiz for that same one on the same night and anticipate that you're going to do well on both. So if it says it's due September 11th, you might want to do it on September 6th or 8th. Give yourself some time because we do know that there are technical problems. When you launch a quiz, I'll just show you what that looks like. It'll give you the day it's due, how many points it's worth, how many questions there are, what the time limit is. They are timed, and gives you a little bit of instruction there. So there you go. That's the course. And I wanted to show you all that so that you get a sense that I'm really invested in you. I think you can do a great job. This is really a topic that's true to my heart. I love how government serves people, and I want to make government work better. Most of you will probably pursue a career in the public agency. Many of you will want to do that. And every one of you will interact with a government agency at some point in time. And so the topics that we cover and the cases that I've chosen will try and help show you why some of the principles that we teach are important and how we can use some of these things throughout our lives. Now most people will say, well gosh, I don't really ever want to do a budget. Well, you're going to need to do a budget if you ever want to be a manager in a public organization because funds matter. And someone will say, well gosh, I really never want to know about interagency coordination. Well, you should, because at some point you might have to work with another agency. Well gosh, why do I have to know everything about rulemaking? Well, sometimes agencies make rules or change rules that apply to you. My whole point here is that the class will be fun and exciting if you give it a little bit of attention and you go through those cases and you start thinking about how government actually works. I think that you will have a great time, and if you ever have a problem, you can send me an email.